And welcome once again to Rosalind's Kitchen. Tonight we are making salmon with, well, feta and herb crusted salmon. It's easy, it's not spicy, in spite of the fact that it's got sweet red peppers. And I love salmon. My dad, maybe. The thing that he's probably going to object to most about this meal is the fact that it has feta, not feta, it has arugula. And my dad is kind of the opinion he's not a rabbit. So that may give a problem, but we'll see. Now, for this recipe, I'm not going to need a frying pan for a change. I do need a mixing bowl. They said 2 mixing bowls, but instead of one of the mixing bowls, I'm going to use my trusty bag. They say I need olive oil, salt, not an ant. I don't know, the ants have been really bad lately. Pepper, and of course I'm going to need my mincing shears. Probably my chopper too. Now, what they give me is the oregano, the parsley, the dill, the pitted Kalamata olives, the roasted sweet red peppers, the feta cheese, the salmon, and the smallest cucumber I have ever seen in my life. Look at that thing. That's not a cucumber. That's a pickle that hasn't been pickled yet. But this is what I'm using tonight. So, let us get down to business. I also have a pan, baking pan, with the tin foil and the oil and all of that. Okay, so first I must stem the dill and the parsley and coarsely chop it. So we will start with the dill. Dill. It's what's for supper. Anyway, so let me get my little bowl here. And stem my dill. Now, I'm not positive how the dill would respond to being, like, banged on. I may actually have to just use a knife. I also need to figure out where the ants are coming from, because I'm being attacked by them. Not bitten, just walked on. I got an idea. Hang on. There. There we go. Coarsely chopped. All right. Now, I can just put the parsley in the same bowl as the dill because it's all being combined anyway, so. And it also needs to be coarsely chopped. Where are the ants coming from? Ants are marching all over. Ugh. Anyway. we go. That's that one. The ants are marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. I forget how far up that song goes with the ants. I think it only goes up to 10, but you never know. I remember a book that I had years ago that had these ants were trying to march to a picnic. This one ant kept trying to divide them into different groups, like, all right, we're going to break down into two groups of 50, and then 4 groups of 25. It was a book for teaching math. Anyway, until finally they missed the picnic because they were all so busy dividing into numbers, and then they chased him off. But it was a cute book anyway, and it was a good one for teaching division to those children who you show them a math book and they freak out, kind of like me. I was never real thrilled with math, partly because when I look at numbers, they would like turn into other numbers, which is a very disturbing fact when you're trying to deal with numbers. Okay, so parsley now equally cut up, and feta cheese. It's also going to be combined in the same thing, except that it's all supposed to be in a mixing bowl, so I'm mixing it up there. All right, and now that I have done that, now the oregano, which are these guys, need to be stemmed, and they need to be minced. So, got another bowl for that. Mostly, I know oregano from, you buy them in the store, and, they're all kind of dried out. I haven't dealt a lot with fresh oregano. One of my goals in life is to have an herb garden so that, I can grow this stuff, and I don't have to go to the store and try and find it. Because that's sometimes easy and sometimes not. Anyway, I'll be back. All right, so the oregano has been minced. Oh, some pieces have been hid on me. Anyway. So now the next thing I need to do is trim the cucumber and cut into little circles. And with my cucumber, it's definitely going to be little circles. So, here we go. Oregano! Yay. Alright, so, hang on, let me shake off the other stuff. Okay. Now, take my little cucumber, trim the ends. My pickled cucumber. See? Is that not the tiniest little cucumber you have ever seen in your life. Normally, you know, when I see a cucumber, I'm expecting something, like that big, you know? I'm not expecting a cucumber that's kind of a dwarf. And it doesn't say that it's supposed to be a dwarf cucumber, but, you know, it's interesting. All right, so cucumbers all gotten together. Now, have the olives in half. See? I'm not quite sure what makes them a Kalamata olive. Maybe it's something that they're... This knife isn't sharp enough. Let me see if I can find a sharper knife. All right. There we go. There's... Because I'm trying not to smush this olive. There we go. All right. There we go. That's one part. And 2 parts. So, I shall get back to you once I've halved these olives. Alright, so my olives are now halved. Now, I must zest and half my lemon. And as I've mentioned, zesting is sometimes a real pain. I wish you could just buy zest, but you probably can, but it's just not the same, you know, so. Alright, so now that my lemon has been zested, I am to cut my lemon in half, and 1/2 cut into wedges, and 1/2 I'm to juice, so. Juiced lemon. Since I only really need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, that will be sufficient. Alright, so now, and let me put my lemon wedges into a bowl over here. Alright, so now I need to pat my salmon dry and season the flesh side with 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Come here, you. So, here we go. Salmon, operating. There we go. started doing these meals, I never knew you were supposed to pat the meat dry. You know, I always just kind of grabbed it out of whatever it was that I was, you know, that it was in, and I just kind of threw it into where, you know, I just cooked it. This has taught me a lot about cooking. Blue Apron included. It taught me also. My dad says I'm becoming a regular chef, but I'll satisfy for just, you know, being a good cook. I'm not putting quite as much pepper on it because I don't want my dad to complain about pepper. Alright, so now it says combine the dill, the parsley, the feta, and the lemon zest in a mixing bowl. Alright, so it's all combined. I just need to kind of like, you know, stir it up. There we go. So, stir, 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 stir. Now, that should be pretty good. It looks kind of like what they've got up there. Now I take my salmon and I place it on my thing here. And now it says, don't let the salmon run away, or swim away, I guess it would be. Place it on and with the skin side down and top with a feta herb mixture. Okay, I'm going to push you guys together because otherwise all my feta is going to fall off. Okay, maybe it's going to fall off anyway. Ugh. My feta combination is trying to fall off. The picture is a lot wider. It isn't these narrow little pieces. I think I got chinced in the amount of salmon I got this time. Ugh. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be smooshing it onto it, but if I don't smoosh it, it won't stay, you know, so. Feta cheese, running away, running away. Stay. Feta cheese, stay. It stays about as well as my dogs do. You know, my dogs look at me and go, uh-huh. And your point is? But now I'm trying to get all the feta cheese I can on the meat because anything not on the meat is kind of lost, and I don't want to lose any of my feta. Because feta's good cheese. Except when it's like running away from you. Alright. There. Now that you've all been smooshed on there, I stick them in and cook them for about 13 to 14 minutes. So, la 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 la. All right, now while that is cooking, I am supposed to make vinaigrette. In another bowl, whisk together gotta find my whisk. Where? Oh, there it is. Okay. Whisk together the lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of it. Okay. And the sugar. Did I mention the sugar when I was showing you everything? I don't remember. It's organic cane sugar. So, organic cane sugar. Oregano. A tablespoon of olive oil. A pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And whisk it all together. Whisk, 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 whisk. All right. Now, I have to wait until the salmon gets out before I continue with what I'm going to be doing. So, I'll be back. Alright, so my salmon is now resting. It says to let it rest for 5 minutes. And while it's resting, I am supposed to add arugula and roasted red peppers. And the olives and the cucumbers. And a pinch of salt. And a pinch of pepper. And now actually they said to add this to what I made that in, but since the whole tossing thing is kind of an interesting talent for me, or a non-talent, as the case may be, I'm going to use this to combine it. This works so much better in combining than other things. So, salad combined. And now I am ready to put my salmon, my salad, and everything else together. So here is the salmon. You ever have one of those days when things just don't want to stay where they're supposed to be? Okay, so here are my plates. And now I'm supposed to put it together looking like the picture. So, I'll put a little bit of arugula. bit of arugula on this plate. And then get down here to where the good stuff is. And since I know my father's opinion of arugula, I'm not going to put as much on his plate as on mine. Hey, there's some cucumbers. Get over here, cucumbers. There we go. And put the salmon on the plate. There. Put the lemon wedges on it. All right. Now, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it does look like. Not too far off, I think. Let's see how it tastes. I'll be back. Okay, so the final verdict is pretty good. I think I liked it better than he did, but then again, I love salmon, and he's like, salmon. Okay. But he said it was pretty good, which is high praise. And the arugula I liked, but he's not quite sure what he thinks of it yet. So, overall, pretty good. So, see you tomorrow.